New trends and fads for weight loss are constantly emerging and changing with the coming of time. It seems that people are always looking for the next new thing when it comes to losing weight. One particular diet that has been present for a long while and continues to hold its own is the Mediterranean diet. Today I will be speaking about the Mediterranean diet for weight loss. So, why the Mediterranean diet? The Mediterranean diet is known for being a diet which focuses on consuming primarily plant based, nutritious foods. The traditional Mediterranean style diet is said to have been inspired by how the people in the Mediterranean region, including Greece, Spain, and southern Italy, would have eaten many years ago. As opposed to other more restrictive diets, the Mediterranean diet seems to be a great long term diet or lifestyle choice for many individuals. This diet has not only been associated with for weight loss, but rather its effects have been looked at in relation to heart disease, inflammation, metabolic system syndrome, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and many other diseases. The Mediterranean diet encourages the consumption of whole grains, fruits and vegetables, legumes and nuts, fish, olive oil, low-fat dairy products, and a high monounsaturated to saturated fatty acid ratio. The diet is primarily plant-based but allows fish and poultry or lean sources of protein over red meat. Red wine is also allowed on the diet, but in moderation. The fats allowed on the diet are higher in monounsaturated fats, which come from sources such as olive oil and fish, as opposed to saturated fats found in butter, red meat, and processed foods. Unsaturated fatty acids have been shown to promote energy expenditure and fat oxidation. Studies have also shown that with a high proportion of unsaturated fatty acids, there is a less likely cause for weight gain and it will also reduce heart disease risk. The foods to avoid on the Mediterranean diet include added sugars, refined grains, trans fats, refined oils, processed meat, or highly processed foods. This is just a graphic of the Mediterranean diet. On the bottom are stuff that are encouraged for one to eat while on the diet, which includes the fruits, vegetables, grains, olive oil, beans, nuts, legumes, and seeds. Those foods are the base and should be eaten in or included in every meal. Above that is the fish and seafood, which should be eaten often or at least 2 times per week. Above that, you have the poultry, eggs, cheese, and yogurt, which should be eaten moderately, um, daily to weekly. And then above that are the meats and sweets, which should be eaten less often. The Mediterranean diet has been studied for decades in terms of how it may affect individuals with various different diseases. A handful of studies have been done in regards to the diet and weight loss in particular. Certain studies have shown how the Mediterranean diet holds up when compared to other popular types of diets. One study looked to compare the Mediterranean diet with low-fat and low-carb diets. Subjects within the study were divided into 3 groups, a group for each diet. One was the Mediterranean, one was low-fat, and the other low-carb. Individuals in the Mediterranean diet group were encouraged to consume a diet that was rich in vegetables and low in red meat. This diet group had the highest fiber content when compared to the others. The study found that although all 3 diets resulted in weight loss, the low-carb and Mediterranean diet groups had more substantial weight loss, and those in the Mediterranean group also had more favorable blood sugar and insulin levels. Similarly, another study compared a low-fat diet with a moderate-fat Mediterranean-style diet. The study lasted for 18 months and found that initially both groups had lost similar amounts of weight. As time passed, it seemed that the individuals had a harder time staying on the low-fat diet and were able to follow the Mediterranean diet for a longer period of time, therefore allowing for more weight loss by the end of the study. Both studies suggest that other diets such as low-fat and low-carbohydrate diets are successful in reducing weight in individuals, but the Mediterranean diet, which is less restrictive, is seemingly easier for people to stick to and to maintain in the long run. The Mediterranean diet allows for carbohydrates and a decent amount of fat. Thus, individuals on this diet are less likely to feel like they're being restricted because they have so many options in terms of what they can eat and enjoy. Studies have also suggested that the Mediterranean diet can result in a decrease in waist circumference. An increase in waist circumference or abdominal obesity is related to many disease risks. Many metabolic complications of obesity, such as diabetes and heart disease, have been closely linked to central obesity or an increase in fat around the abdomen. A study done on adolescents in Greece wanted to look at the relationship between the adherence to a Mediterranean diet and waist circumference. A 6-month school-based intervention program was conducted in schools where the students were introduced to healthy eating via the Mediterranean diet. Results showed that the individuals who adhered to the diet showed weight loss and a decrease in waist circumference. A cohort study done in Italy further confirmed the idea. Individuals who consumed the Mediterranean diet on the study, particularly for a longer period of time, were less likely to be at risk for weight gain and obesity and had consequently lower waist circumference. There also has been evidence to suggest that an intervention with the Mediterranean diet alongside physical activity allows for some weight loss and substantial improvement in blood pressure. Although the current studies on the Mediterranean diet and weight loss seem to be positive, there is need for more research on the topic. In many of the studies, the type of Mediterranean diet used for them seems to be inconsistent. There are many different variations in the diet, including the amount of carbohydrates allowed, as well as the amount of fat and the type of fat used. Therefore, it's harder to determine what in particular is causing the weight loss. Also, some individuals would drop out of the studies prematurely, so thereby causing the results to be skewed. Thus, more studies need to be conducted on the effectiveness of the diet on weight loss. Overall, the studies done in regards to the Mediterranean diet and weight loss seem to suggest that adhering to the diet will allow individuals to lose weight and maintain it for a longer period of time. Studies have been done on a large array of people, including breastfeeding women, adolescents, middle-aged, and older individuals. It seems that regardless of a person's stage in life or age, they may benefit in some way from following a Mediterranean diet.